I've spent the last 7 years selling digital products in one form or another. I've built and sold my own offers. I've run an online coaching business where I was responsible for everything from marketing and sales all the way to client delivery. I've then gone on to close millions in sales for established online companies that already had proven products, proper marketing and leads coming in every single day. And now, through Hair Sales Society, I train other women to build careers doing the exact same thing. So I've seen this industry from both sides. I've been the business owner trying to create the product, attract the customer, sell the offer, and then deliver everything after the payment came in. And I've also been the sales rep whose only responsibility was to speak to qualified people, understand whether the offer could help them, and close the right ones into the program. And after 7 years, I can tell you that most people who want to make money from digital products choose the hardest possible route. They immediately think that they can create their own course, build their own coaching program, grow an audience, post content every day, learn paid ads, create a funnel, and take the sales call and deliver the results afterwards, managing their customers as well, and somehow become good at all of those things at the same time. But the biggest opportunity in digital products isn't always creating a digital product yourself. Sometimes the smarter route is learning how to sell products that have already been proven for businesses that have already figured out everything else. So in this video, I'm going to condense the most important lessons that I've learned from 7 years of selling digital products online. What makes a product easy or difficult to sell, why the offer matters more than the script, why people rarely buy for the reason they initially give you, why pushy sales tactics normally make the conversation worse, and why remote sales is one of the most practical ways for women to start earning online without building another complicated business model from scratch. So let's get into it. The first thing that I want to clear up is the idea that digital products are automatically passive income. They're not. Yes, you can create a product once and sell it multiple times. You do not need to manufacture physical stock every time someone buys. There's no warehouses, shipping delays, or boxes sitting in your spare room. But that doesn't mean that the business runs itself. Somebody still has to create that product. Somebody still has to decide who it's for, and somebody still has to develop the messaging. Someone still has to create the content and generate the leads, and someone still has to build that funnel. They still have to speak to potential customers and then deliver the service, manage the community, update the material, handle refunds, and answer all of the questions. When I ran my own online coaching business, I was not only the coach, I was the content team, I was the marketing department, I was the salesperson, I was the admin assistant, the customer service team, and I was the person chasing payments and solving technology issues. The money could look good on paper, but there was always more work attached to every new client. And that's the part that people leave out when they tell you to create a digital product. They show you the payment notification, but they don't show you the 15 different jobs required to generate it. Now, there's nothing wrong with creating your own offer, but you need to understand that you are not just creating a product, you're creating an entire business around it. And most of the time, it's simply never worth the hassle. One of the clearest lessons that I've learned is what you are selling matters more than the cleverest sales methods that you are using. Now, a lot of struggling sales reps believed that every lost deal means that they need another objection handling technique. So they watch more videos, they collect more closing lines, they rewrite the script again. They think that there's one magical sentence that will suddenly make everyone buy. But sometimes the problem isn't the sales rep. The problem is actually the product that you're selling. A strong digital product solves a clear and important problem. The person understands what the result is. The business has evidence that the product actually works, and there are proper testimonials. There's a clear market for it, and the marketing is attracting the right people, and the price makes sense compared to the value of the outcome. When those things are in place, your job as the sales rep becomes so much simpler. The prospect already understands why the problem matters. They've already watched the content or attended the webinar. They have already seen proof, and they have chosen to book the call. So you are not dragging someone from complete disinterest to purchasing a product that they do not want. You are simply helping an interested person decide whether this particular offer is right for them. Now, compare that with a weak product where there's no clear result, the messaging's vague, the testimonials are poor, the leads are unqualified, the company is still changing the price and the offer every week. Then the product owner expects the closer to somehow fix all of that during a 45-minute Zoom call, but no script can consistently solve a weak offer. A brilliant closer on a terrible product may struggle more than an average closer on a proven product. So that is why choosing the right company matters so much. Now, I know this sounds strange, but people are rarely buying the digital product itself. They're buying what they believe the product will change. They are buying the results. Someone does not buy a business coaching program because they are desperate to watch another collection of training videos. They buy because they want the business to grow, and that is normally only the surface level reason. Maybe they want the business to grow because they're exhausted from doing everything alone. Maybe they want to stop worrying about money every month. Maybe they want to become more present with their children. Maybe they're embarrassed that their business has been stuck at the same level for years. Maybe they just want to prove themselves that they are actually capable of building something. The product is only the mechanism, but the emotional outcome is what gives the decision meaning. And this is why feature-heavy sales pitches usually fall flat on their face. A salesperson will spend 10 minutes explaining all the modules, the calls, the templates, the videos, the bonuses, but none of that actually matters unless the prospect understands how those things connect to the result that they care about. Now, the strongest sales reps are able to move beyond the surface level answer. They do not stop when somebody says, I want to make more money, because they know that's just the surface answer. They ask what making more money would actually change. They ask what and why that actually matters now. They ask what happens if the current situation continues, and they create enough space for the person to explain what the decision really means. And that is where the real conversation starts. Another thing that I've learned is that sales becomes much harder when you try to sound like a salesperson, because the prospect can feel that immediately. You become overly polished. You ask questions because they are next on your script rather than because you genuinely care about the answer, and you start thinking 3 steps ahead. You wait for the objection so that you can deliver the clever response that you memorized, and instead of having a conversation, you are performing sales at somebody. That creates pressure, and the prospect becomes guarded because of it. They start giving shorter answers and they begin looking for a catch. The best calls that I've taken have normally felt very simple. I listened, I asked a follow-up question, I repeated something important back to the person, and I helped them organize their own thoughts. I then explained the solution very clearly, and I asked what they wanted to do. Now, that does not mean that there is no structure. There absolutely is. You still need to know how to open the conversation. You still need to understand the person's current situation. You still need to uncover the problem, the impact, and the outcome that they want. You still need to qualify whether they can genuinely benefit from your offer. You will still need to present the solution properly and handle concerns. But the structure should support the conversation. It should not replace it. The moment you become more focused on completing the script than understanding the person, then the quality of your sales call is going to drop. This is where I want to compare the 2 routes directly. If you go away and you build your own digital product, then yeah, of course, you keep more of the revenue from every sale. And I know that that sounds attractive, but you are then also responsible for everything required to produce that sale. The idea, you need the expertise, you need the product, the audience, the marketing, the leads, the sales experience, the delivery, the customer support. And before any of it works reliably, you need to test and improve every part. And that can take years. If you become a sales rep for a proven digital product, you earn a percentage instead of keeping the entire sale, but you are entering a machine that already exists. The company has created the product, the marketing is already running, people are already booking calls, and the business has proof. The delivery team handles the entire customer journey after they join, and your only job is to become excellent at sales. This is why the rep route can be more practical and more predictable for somebody just starting out, because you are not trying to become an expert in every part of that online business. You are developing one skill and applying it to a company that already has demand. Now, you can always build your own business later, but when you understand sales first, you enter the future business with one of the most important problems already solved. You already know how money is generated. Now, remote sales is sometimes presented online as a quick side hustle where apparently you just have to take a few calls, make a few commissions, work from the beach, but that is rarely ever the reality. The women who build serious incomes from this treat it like a real profession. They understand the product, they study the market, they prepare for their calls, they track their numbers, they ask for feedback, they know what their close rate is, and they understand why deals are being lost. They build relationships with business owners, sales managers, and other reps, and they protect their reputation. That professionalism creates longevity. Anybody can have one good commission month, but the real skill is being able to produce consistently across different months, different lead conditions, and eventually different companies. And that is when sales becomes something that you can genuinely own and can use to make money whenever you want. For women who want to earn online, remote sales can provide a middle ground that is often missing. You may not want to stay inside the traditional corporate role where your salary is capped, but you may also have zero interest in becoming an influencer or building an entire business from scratch. You want more flexibility, you want performance-based income, and you want the ability to work remotely, but you also want something that's credible, a proper skill, a clear role, work that creates measurable value. And remote sales provides that bridge because you work inside a real business. You have a defined responsibility and you're paid for the revenue that you help generate, but you're not carrying the entire company on your back. For the right woman, that balance can make far more sense than starting another side hustle that requires 5 different skills before it makes its first money. So if I was starting again and I wanted to earn from a digital product, I would not immediately try to create my own first. First, I would learn sales properly. I would understand how buyers make decisions. I would learn how to run a discovery. I'd practice asking personal and commercially relevant questions. And I would learn how to present an offer without over-explaining. I would learn how to handle concerns calmly. Then I would find a proven digital product and work with a company already selling it successfully. I would study the product, the customers, and the marketing, and I would take as many quality calls as I could. I would review everything. I would become useful to the company because I could reliably turn interest into revenue. Only after building that skill would I consider creating my own offer, because then I would not be guessing about what people buy. I would have spent hundreds or thousands of hours speaking directly to buyers. I would understand their problems, their language, their fears, and decision-making processes. And that knowledge would make me a much stronger business owner later down the line. So that is 7 years of selling digital products condensed into the lessons I believe matter. A strong offer and digital product will always outperform a clever sales strategy. People buy the personal outcome behind the product, not the modules or the bonuses. So simple and honest conversations work better than pushy tactics. But the biggest lesson is this: you do not necessarily need to create a digital product to make money from the digital product industry. You can develop the skill that every successful digital product company needs, and that's sales. You can join a company that already has a proven offer, proper marketing, qualified leads, testimonials, and customer delivery in place. Focus on becoming exceptional at the part that turns all of that into revenue. For many women, that is a far more practical and predictable entry point than spending years trying to build an online business alone. It does not mean that you will never create your own product. It just means that you build the commercial skill first, because products change, platforms change, trends change, but every legitimate business will always need customers, and the person who knows how to help the right customer make a clear buying decision will always have high value. And that is what remote sales gave me. A skill I can use across companies, industries, and countries, a career where my income can increase with my ability, and a route into earning online that did not require me to remain responsible for every moving part of the business. So if you're interested in selling digital products but do not want to create another complicated business from scratch, remote sales may just be the opportunity that you've been looking for. So if you want to explore whether this is right for you, you can book a call with me using the link below, and we'll look at your current experience, what skills you already have, and what building a genuine career in remote sales would look like. It will just be proper training, a valuable skill, and a practical route into businesses that already need people who can sell. If this video helped, drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.